Hey, welcome to Book 9 of our Daily English Vocabulary series. Now, as you pay attention to each lesson, remember over the next 30 lessons, not just to learn the words, but to use the words as much as possible. Are you ready? Well then, today's English word is evaluate. Evaluate. Now, as you listen to the story, see if you can guess the meaning of the word evaluate. Charles and Rhonda. They had just gotten married less than 6 months ago, and they were in love. Now, on this day, Charles and Rhonda were sitting in their apartment talking about their first home. You see, Charles and Rhonda really wanted to start a family, but they knew that their apartment was just too small. So Charles and Rhonda, as they were sitting at their kitchen table in their apartment, they started looking through magazines, looking for different designs, different sofas, and different appliances because they wanted to make sure their new home looked good on the inside and the outside. And as they were looking through the magazines, Rhonda lifted her head and she looked at Charles and she said, "Charles, I want to ask you a question." He said, "Yes, honey, what's your question?" Rhonda said, "Charles, we've looked a lot for homes, and I think there are 2 homes that we both like." Charles started to smile because he knew exactly which homes Rhonda was referring to. And she could tell by the smile on Charles' face that he knew. And she said, "Charles, listen. Both homes are wonderful, but we need to evaluate which home would be best for our family." Charles said, "I totally agree with you, Rhonda. I like the larger home because it provides a lot of space for a potentially big family." And Rhonda laughed. "Yes, baby, I know you want a lot of kids." He said, "But the second home, even though it's not as big as the first home, it's really nice and it has a great backyard and the neighborhood is amazing." Rhonda said, "I totally agree." Charles continued, "Okay, so Rhonda, since we both agree that we have to evaluate which home would be best for our family, instead of us looking at this magazine dealing with the interior, let's talk about the pros and cons of each home." Rhonda said, "Charles, I'm so glad I married you because we are on the same page." And for the next hour, they spoke about each home and they evaluated which one would be the best for their family. And you know which one they chose? The larger one. Charles wanted a lot of kids. Did you guess the meaning? I know you heard the word evaluate. So the word evaluate, all right? Evaluate. Now the word evaluate just means to assess. To assess. Charles and Rhonda were assessing both homes to see which one would be best for their family. In English, we say evaluate. Now, I want to go over the pronunciation very quickly of this word before I give you an example sentence. Now, the word evaluate, it's not a difficult word, but there is a letter that I want to go over. And the sound of this letter is sometimes a little bit difficult or tricky for some English learners to make. The letter is V. You guessed it, right at the beginning of the word, evaluate. So I want to teach you this trick. To make this sound properly, I want you to put your front teeth on your bottom lip. That's the first step. The second step is for you to vibrate your teeth on your bottom lip. Listen to this. You heard it, right? My teeth, I'm vibrating them on my bottom lip. Again. Excellent. So now that we know how to make that sound properly, I want you to say the word after me again. Evaluate. Excellent. Again, last time, evaluate. Excellent. So we know the meaning of the word. Again, evaluate is to assess. Now, here's the example sentence. The example sentence is, I have to evaluate these tests. Once again, I have to evaluate these tests. Makes sense, right? Just like in the story, Charles and Rhonda, they had to evaluate the homes. They had to assess the homes. Now, I want you to use this word at least one time today. But don't forget, remember, everything you're learning over the next 30 lessons, you can get your copy of the Daily English Vocabulary Book 9. This package will help you continue studying what you're learning, put everything into practice. There are audio files to help you listen to the pronunciation and also understand more example sentences. So all you have to do to get your copy is go to www.dailyenglishvocab.com. Again, www.dailyenglishvocab.com, and I'll talk to you in the next lesson.